is up? It is Run Pure MLB DFS picks. That's what it says on the YouTube, at least. We call it swinging for the fences. And today, look who I have. Look who I have with me. One Travis Mangone. If you could see him, he's a little camouflage today. He's wearing his black with the black behind him. I can see his ear. Can you see him, D-Rock?
I can see him sort of. I mean, he's really blending in there.
Yeah, he kind of is. He's kind of camouflage.
He's there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. My lights aren't set up. Hold on, I gotta fix this. Not today. We'll do it another day. But it's gonna be a nice little setup here. Don't worry. I'm gonna have a background like you. I'll have some stuff behind me. I won't have those Yankees, Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton. I won't have those bums there. But I will definitely have something in the next week or so. I'll definitely make sure it's nice and pretty and set up for you.
Thank you very much. I'd appreciate that. We're Run Pure. We're not a bunch of jabronis over here just trying to do this out on the street. We try and spend $5 to $10 on our setups. D-Rock, it's good to see you, man, going. D-Rock, what is up, my friend? I love the Blackhawks sweater. Easily the greatest mascot, or at least, mascot in all of sport. I mean, it's just a beautiful, beautiful, different colors. Love it. I like your wardrobe today.
Thank you. That's very nice. Yeah, I like your hair today. It's looking nice and shiny today. It's a good look on you.
You know what? Maybe we should try being mean to each other because that'll be a lot more entertaining than all this stuff.
All right. Well, you know what? You're just an asshole. You're just an asshole. My son's still waiting on his bots to get here in the mail. Since your lazy ass still.
Every time I drive past the post office, I'm like, God, I got to send this thing to D-Rock already. This is just horrible. So, you know what, too? I stole a Build-A-Bear from my daughter. I'm going to give it to you kids. That'll be good. Those things are not cheap. Trust me.
Oh, no. We tried to, every time we take the kids to the mall, we, try to, purposely walk, a different direction around that store. I mean, you go in there, you easily drop a couple $100.
200 every time.
Yeah. It's simple.
I hate that place.
But, today's going good, though. Sweating some golf lineups. Got a couple outrights that are in the running in this thing. It's only Friday, but, you got to get to the weekend to cash them in. And we get a huge slate of baseball tonight to have some fun with.
Mangone, where's JT today? Did you talk to him?
Yeah, I talked to him.
Where is he?
I talked to JT. Yeah. I sent him a message and I said, JT, I get to see you now. You really do love to see it. I was excited. Talking baseball with JT has been always a good time. And, he said the day job's been killing him. So he's going to need some help today. I'm going to do my best to help him out. I'll be telling him a little bit about my thoughts on the slate. I don't think he'll have time to tune into us. I'm sure he wish he could be here, but hopefully next week the day job lightens up for him and he can join us again. But I get to join D-Rock. I mean, Holden, this is my first show, I think, with D-Rock, besides the PGA shows, right? But when it's the official show, not the Brady Bunch with all the different people on the screen, this is my first show officially with D-Rock. So excited.
I think it's our first one together where we're both sober.
Yeah. And your shirt's on, by the way. I've done. This is my third show I'm doing with you technically, and you had your shirt off for two of them.
Yeah.
So my wife turned the air conditioner on in the house, and I'm already in the basement, so it's already cold as can be. So I'm afraid to take the shirt off right now because I'm afraid I'll scratch.
Please don't. Please, it was my fault. I told you to do it one time. Great tattoos. Keep your shirt and your sweater on today, please. Good question in the chat because they're going on there. What does JT do for a job? Corey Pooler says he's a school bus driver. If you got a good suggestion, because I have no idea what JT does, feel free to leave it in the chat, and then we will get to let's just go. Let's get going here, guys. Pitching is this is a little bit different tonight here, Mangone. I only play DraftKings, although they're a little in FanDuel yesterday. It wasn't bad. Trevor Bauer's 11.9K. Nola's 11.6. Glasnow's. We got 3 guys above 11K and then another 2 guys above 10K. You are paying up for pitching tonight if you want the premium guys, Mangone.
Yeah, I mean, you got to pay for pitching today, which I appreciate, right? I do like when you can pay for the pitching. I don't want to play a slate where you can just kind of jam in all the bats and all the pitchers with each other. Where's the fun in that? I like when we kind of have to make some decisions. You're not going to get cores jammed in with the pitchers. At least on DK. FanDuel, I mean, you can still kind of take care of business and jam in some good arms with some good bats, but that's FanDuel for you. But there's ways to take advantage of that. We'll talk about that throughout the show. Trevor Bauer at the top, he's probably my top arm, right? So we can kind of put in a tier. I think it's Bauer, Nola, Glasnow, right? Those 3 I would lump together. I think Ian Anderson and Alex Wood, they're in their next tier a little bit below. And you could lump Ian Anderson, I think, in that tier with those other guys if you want. But Bauer for me is no doubt my number one. You can make an argument for Glasnow as my number two, but the reason I kind of do that is I think he's got a nice range of volatility, right? The floor could be a bit low because if he walks some runners in this Toronto ballpark, we know if Glasnow walks guys and he gives them a bomb here and there, it can add up quickly and he can have a quicker release than you'd like. So we know that Glasnow has a nice ceiling, but there obviously is concerns about the park that he is in because it has been playing like a great park for hitting. I do like Ian Anderson, though, against the Pirates. I'm not a huge believer in this Pirates team. So I guess I kind of maybe make Ian Anderson as my number three, and then I maybe make Nola my number four. I'm not as high on Nola. That might be wrong. I remember I looked at the slate and I said, I'm just not feeling Aaron Nola. Maybe D-Rock can sell me more on Nola. Nothing against him. I just don't have a strong lean on going on him and attacking the Boston offense right now.
All right. I just got some news here. Aaron Hicks left wrist surgery, potentially season ending. Obviously not a big deal for today, but going forward, I think it's pretty big news in Major League Baseball. D-Rock, let's get into these pitchers here. I set Mangone up with the top shelf guys. Let me get your whole pool, and then Mangone, I want to come back and get your pool too. But D-Rock, let's go from top to bottom, the pitching pool.
So, I think I mentioned the article today, which you can catch on the website, my MLB Sluggers article, that, sticker shock is a big thing in DFS, and it is going to come across the slate today big time because nobody's used to paying this much for these guys on DraftKings. And Trevor Bauer, I'm with Mangone there. He is my number one up top at 11.9. Aaron Nola, I'm not going to try selling you on the Mangone because I'm not on him either. Boston on the season has the highest team ISO against right-handed pitching there is on the slate, so I'm not going there. Tyler Glasnow in what we're calling mini cores now. It's worth a shot. I don't think anybody's going to play him at 11-2 in that ballpark. He'll get a little bit of ownership, but not much at all. So if you want to separate yourself right away, throw two of these 11K pitchers in the lineup and build with value around it with Bauer and Glasnow. In the 10K range, I have no interest in Ian Anderson. I know it's against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's not a great offense, but they also don't strike out a lot. So I just don't have a lot of faith going there. I'd rather pay up the extra salary to get to Glasnow or Bauer. Not looking at Alex Wood against the Dodgers, even though Merrill Kelly just made the Dodgers look like idiots last night, striking out 12. And then the 9K range, don't really have much there. I like Marcus Stroman. Maybe take a shot against the Marlins, who do strike out over a 27% rate. But I'm not a fan of Marcus Stroman either. For me, it's really boils down to the 11K range and then the 7K range. Mike Minor against Detroit. Absolutely love him today. He's going to be popular though, but Detroit they're awful against left-hand pitching. I mean, there's no sugarcoating it. They got a 34% strikeouts rate on the season against them. And if you have the big ones, you can throw out Kyle Hendricks out there again against the Cardinals. He's only 7,400, but if you're doing that, I'd only do it in MME. I would not do it in a single entry or even a 3-match build. He will not be in my pool, but he does have a little bit of upside just from his past, but I'm not going there personally. And then one of my favorites here at 7,100. Now this will depend on, I don't know if you guys have seen it yet, but I haven't seen the situation on the roof.
Kyle Gibson?
In Texas. Yeah. If that roof is closed, I do like Kyle Gibson against Houston. He's only 7,100. Nobody's going to want to play him against these Houston bats. So for me in GPP, it's definitely worth a stab there. I mean, I could see 5 to 7 strikeouts possibly tonight from him. He's been good to us at RPS, and I'm not going away yet, especially at only 7,100. And then, I mean, once you get down to the 6K range and below, you're starting to scrape the bottom of the barrel. German Marquez, I actually do like him tonight in Coors against Arizona. Nobody likes to play pitchers in Coors, but I can't remember where it was. I think it was like last year. I seen the article that everybody knows about the Coors effect. When you leave Coors Field to go after your series there somewhere else, you usually have a down game. I think that does come into effect on a road team's first game in Coors as well. So and Marquez is a good pitcher. Like he's not one I like to attack even at Coors. So I don't mind going to him at 5,700. Other than him, there's nothing down there that I like.
Here's my problem, D-Rock. And I like Marquez too. As a matter of fact, I'm kind of looking at his K prop at 4.5 and thinking about going over that. But I like
that call.
My hesitation is the wind's blowing out here, 15 miles an hour. And while it's not going to be sustained 15 for the whole game, I'm already at a disadvantage with a pitcher in Coors. does that get you off him a little bit, or screw it, let's just go all and get Marquez in there? Because I don't mind him either.
No, for me, I mean, it's when you're playing Marquez, a pitcher like that at 5,700, you're not going like overly over the top on his ownership. So you're not going to put him in 20 or 30% of your lineups or whatnot. Now, getting a stab at him, yeah, I do like that. I like getting, maybe 10, 15% of them if you're going to play him, just because I do think he's a legitimately good pitcher and nobody's going to play him. So for me, it's just, that's basically comes down to what it is. Nobody's going to want to play him in Coors Field. And I think he's a good enough pitcher to get you close to 20 fantasy points tonight.
And it's windy out here west. So 15 to 20 in Coors, 10 down with the Angels, 15 with the Giants. I don't know how much the wind really helps though when it's out here on these West Coast teams like the Dodgers and the Giants and other teams like that. All right, so that's D-Rock's pool. I want to remind everybody, hit the like button if you like what we're doing here. We got 250 watching. We got 65 likes. Let's just shoot for 250 today. That'll be nice. D-Rock, I mean, if you want D-Rock to take his shirt off, we're going to need 350. I'm putting it high enough so that it really never happens. So that's all I'll say.
You watch, we're getting 350.
No, we're not going to get 350.
You get 400. My shirt will come off too, Holden. How's that sound?
There we go. Double
we're definitely not getting 400 likes. Thank God. All right, Mango, let's do this, buddy. So we talked. I went to you. I had you talk about the guys at the top. Who are those guys? Who of those guys is in your pool? And then go down. Like, do you have another 4 or 5 guys tonight, or is it going to be really, really compact?
Yeah, I'll say this. Like, I kind of looked into, I saw someone in the chat was talking about like an Anderson, and I like Anderson too. And it feels like expensive, but the one thing I'll say is I like looking at pitchers sometimes and like, what is Anderson's issue? Like, what is separated and made Anderson not like this absolute ace yet, right? Because he's a guy that's developing and becoming a really good arm. Well, it's his walk problem, right? 11% walk rate. But he's going against the Pirates, and they walk about like 6.5% of the time. Like, this is a dream matchup for Anderson, right? It fits really well. The only thing that would make this better is if this game was in Pittsburgh, right? For a little bit of a better park. So I'm kind of leaning Bauer as my one, and Anderson, I think, is my number 2 if you're talking like cash games, at least when it comes to spending up, right? I would put Glass now at 3, and the reason why is getting the volatility. Great tournament option. I love everything that D-Rock said, but as we get down to these like, cheaper guys, which you can make an argument, some of these guys like Martin Perez, 9.4K. No, I don't really want to go there. I mean, Rodon, I've enjoyed rostering him. Do I want to roster him in Yankee Stadium against that lineup at 9.9K against all those righties? I don't think so. The big one is, what do we do with Chris Paddock, right? I know he's like a projection model popper kind of guy. The problem I have with Chris Paddock is he hasn't been good, but he gets, if I told you you could have any matchup in the league right now, this would be it, right? Yeah. I mean, like, it's perfect. It's like, if there's a get right spot, like this is it for Chris Paddock. So I understand going to him. Now, if his ownership is really high, and again, this is a big slate, I don't think I have to worry too much about ownership, but if the ownership was like really high, then maybe I'd stay off. But if people aren't going to play him, this is the matchup to take the shot in, I think. Guys that are typically in the 10K range are Steven Strasburg, right? He's at 8.3K hold. And I know you at the start of the season were liking the Nationals a bit, and Strasburg hasn't been great. Do you think that 8.3K price tag is like worth taking a shot on? I think it's too risky. But again, in tournaments, it could make some sense. I don't know if people are going to see the name though, and that's going to inflate ownership. Like, if you told me Strasburg was going to be 2%, sure. But like, if it gets up to like the 20% range, I don't think I really want to take too much of a shot on it, Holden.
I don't know what his pitch count is.
So I
was reading this. Hold on, D-Rock.
I think it's no pitch count. I thought.
Yeah. Well, here's the deal. I was reading this morning, and Davey Martinez was saying that they're just going to throw him out there. So they're not even intimating that there is going to be a pitch count tonight. And even if let's just say we get 90 D-Rock, let's say we get 90 pitches out of Strasburg. Is that enough to roster him against Baltimore? The price tag is 8.3 on DraftKings and 10.2 on FanDuel.
On DraftKings, like, it's hard. If he does get that, I think so. Yeah, 8,300. But the thing is, I don't think he gets that. They said he's not a pitch count, but he just threw a 55 pitch bullpen session on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
So, and coming off the IL, I think he threw 70 in his rehab start last week, and then so 55 on Tuesday. I just don't see him going like above 75 pitches, even 70 pitches in this game. I mean, for me, it's too risky. if he does get 90, I think he's in play at $8,300 against Baltimore. But I don't see it. I don't see it happening personally, especially with that 55 pitch bullpen session on Tuesday.
All right. So maybe fade Strasburg, even in tournaments. I personally think that because there is no news on his pitch count, that people are actually going to be gravitating toward him at 8-3 on DraftKings, given the amount of upside that he has at that price. Man, going in tournaments, like I think he gets to around 10%. Not that it matters because it's baseball, but I think, people get on him.
I think it matters to a degree though, right? Like, cause again, I don't know what he's going to be, and I'm not like super high on him. So if I'm going to roster him, like I need to have that strong conviction on him, I think. So I think that's one of the parts that I'm looking at there. I do want to talk about some price tags on FanDuel, and then there's a couple more guys I want to mention on DK. Like Chris Paddock is 6.3K over on FanDuel. Like, I mean, that's just egregious, right? Like, and again, it's also on FanDuel. You can roster top end arms easier. So I'm curious to see what happens with his ownership, because Charlie Morton's a great example of that. The other day, Charlie Morton was like too cheap, right? But there was also other options that you could get up to. So if you plug in Chris Paddock at 6.3 against Seattle, you have 3.588 for all your spots, right? Every single spot. And it's cheap to get guys on FanDuel. So I'm curious to see what people do with him. And I wonder if they put him in there and then load up on the bats, because I do think he's more in play over there. I like Mike Minor a bit, and especially on DK. I think he's probably my favorite like point per dollar cash game like pitching option. He gets to go up against the Tigers. And one thing I like to do in DFS, I like to roster guys that are going to get strikeouts, right? And what do the Tigers do? I mean, they strike out. They don't kill pitch counts. They don't have these long innings. Even if they do, get on the board, right? They get like a run up on the board or two, or let's say they get like a double, right? They're still going to have quick at bats. They're not a team that kills pitch counts, which is key as well. I want Mike Minor to be in there for most of the time. I want to make sure I get, those 90 to 100 pitches. I don't want to have one of those innings where it goes for 30 pitches and it just absolutely destroys him and I lose an entire inning. I feel confident in that in Mike Minor. So I'm leaning on him as being my favorite, like point per dollar cash game option. Also, I do think that some ownership is going to go on to Minor because of all of the price tags going up on people, right? I think that could play a part into it. And obviously with there being a Coors slate on tap, we're going to have, people wanting to jam in the Coors bats, right? So that's going to play into effect as well. But Minor is probably my number one point per dollar pitcher option on this slate.
Okay. So real quick, I'll say this, and just back to Strasburg. He had 75 pitches in that tune-up, D-Rock, 75 in the tune-up, and now they're not putting any limitations on him. I am inclined to think he gets 90 pitches. I think the over-under is 90. Unless he gets rocked, he's going to be in there for 90 pitches tonight. If I could guarantee you 90 pitches, would you run him out there?
I mean, it's on FanDuel, no. Not at the 10K price tag. On DraftKings, I mean, I guess I wouldn't mind taking a couple stabs at him, but I'm not a big believer in them right now. And I actually don't mind a little bit of Baltimore against them. And Baltimore is not a high strikeout team as it is. And I think they only got like a 22 or 23% strikeout rate on the season right now against right-handed pitching. All right. So for me, I'm just going to say no. I'm not interested in at all tonight.
So we've got Willy Adames getting traded to the Brewers. The Rays trade him to the Brewers. It's probably not going to have any impact tonight, unless you were stacking the Rays and you thought that Willy Adames was the play there. Sign up. Let's go. Here's what I just learned. Izzy, who I've had millions of conversations about. Come on, dude, just sign up already. Sign up. I have been informed that Izzy in the Discord, or actually here on the chat on YouTube, has finally signed up. I mean, if Izzy did it, what the hell is taking you so long? I mean, it took forever, and he finally realized what you're getting here. You're not just getting the core plays, which, by the way, nowhere else is giving you this type of information. All you got to do is figure out 2, 3, 4 guys, and you can come up with a great lineup. Best players in the world right here at Run Pure. You get that. You can ask our analysts at any point in time. Get on the Discord, ask them questions. That's what it's for. Up to lock, before lock, after lock. It doesn't matter. Everybody's in there. RPS Heater 25. RPS Heater 25 is the code there. Mangone, any more pitching? You're ready to move on?
Yeah, I don't think I have too much more to say. I see people in chat saying, oh, Paddock's broken. Guys, like, this is the one spot that it could happen, right?
Yes.
And if you think Paddock's broken, like, load up on Seattle then, right? They're not going to be owned. They're power bats, right? I mean, they're kind of like, they have upside, right? They're obviously guys that can swing and miss a ton, but they can go yard. So if you really think Paddock's broken, load up on Seattle and then jam in those bats or those hitters because, obviously the Seattle guys, I haven't looked at them that much today. I'm sure the Seattle hitters are pretty cheap on this slate. I would say Jose Quintana, you could make an argument for if you're going like all the way to the basement and you need a cheap option. I just don't think you need to on this slate.
D-Rock pitching, anything else? I mean, God, what if Wander Franco comes up tonight, dude? How awesome is that going to be? I can't wait to see this kid. DK ain't going to put him in there. FanDuel ain't going to put him in there, are they? But if this Adames trade is paving the floor for Wander to come up, the Rays are going to get really, really fun to watch. D-Rock, anything pitching-wise?
No, I'm going to basically be staying up top.
Just stay up top, and that's it. Very good. Okay. For those of you that don't listen, every morning, Monday through Friday, Draft Cheat drops a pod, the First Look pod. It's here for Major League Baseball. Make sure you listen and subscribe. It's on your favorite podcast provider, whether it be Google, Apple Play, or Google Play, Apple, no matter what it is, Spotify, Stitcher, go get it. It's terrific stuff. Okay. Now we get to the bats, Mangone, and we go position by position here on the show. So we'll start at catcher, and you play a lot of cash games. So I'm actually interested in the plan of attack here. There's so many guys that are available this evening. You can pay down. Typically paying down a catcher is the way to go. Who are you looking at today?
Yeah, I'm definitely a pay down at catcher kind of guy. I want to jam in good bats, right? Like sometimes the difference in cashing and not cashing is the dude you paid up for that, got you like a 40 spot, right? And hey, that sometimes doesn't happen at catcher. Sometimes it does though, right? Typically it's not like the JT Realmutos though, right? I'd rather pay up for a Ronald Acuna, some of those other guys up at the top, the JD Martinez. Those are the guys that I am looking at trying to get into my lineup. So I typically try to jam them in if I can, right? So typically on these big slates, I wait for the catchers to come out, right? I wait to see if we have a cheap option. So currently, I know the Arizona guys, I typically like to lean. I look at Coors Field and say like, well, what do we got? And we typically have some decent catchers for cheap, right? Like Stephen Vogt at 3.8 is still a pretty decent tag. We don't have their lineup yet, so we don't know exactly what to do there. We do have Wilson Ramos, right? Against the lefty. I know I like Minor, but you could make a case for him as one of the cheap catcher punt options. You can make a case for a Zach Collins, right? For the White Sox there. I know it's lefty, but he's a punt guy. I just like to look for punts. That's really what I'm trying to do. And typically I just try to go as cheap as possible, right? Like, so we got Anderson, right? We have, he's pitching against Kevin Smith. Now I don't think Smith is amazing, right? But he's 2.4K. He's going to help jam in the rest of my guys. And we talked about pricing being tight. I'm just not going to ignore it. So I'm looking for cheap options to pop up. Currently, I don't have a lot popping up as things that I'm looking at. I mean, I'm mentioning guys, I'm just looking for, platoon options. That's what I'm really trying to do. Take stabs at some cheaper guys. That's how I really try to attack this position. I do think that when you look in cash games, if you don't find a punt, right? If you can't get one of these guys, look in the 3K range and see what the 2v2 swap is. Let's say you have a Ronald Acuna in your lineup. Maybe going from an Acuna to a Yordan Alvarez in cash games to get you up to a Mike Zunino against K, right? A lefty matchup, and he's been hitting the ball well. Maybe getting a Stephen Vogt in Coors. That's how I really look at the catcher position. I try to punt it all the time. But if there are no punt options presented to me on the slate, then I try and go up and just see what the 2v2 combos are. Currently, right now, we don't have a lot of punt options. We don't have all the lineups, though. I would say right now, my lean is to go to Arizona with a Stephen Vogt or even go to a Mike Zunino. And on FanDuel, I want to talk about this a little bit. On FanDuel, Mike Zunino the other day, the Rays were one of the more popular stacks, Holden. They were very popular even on FanDuel. Mike Zunino was 3% owned. People do not play catchers over on FanDuel, and it's because their price tags are really, really cheap. And people just don't want to play because you can play a first base spot, right? And it's also easy to build out lineups. You got cheap options. So don't be afraid to roster a catcher. I mean, the other day I had a really popular stack and I had a 0.1% guy on my lineup hit a home run as a catcher. And it's like, that can be the difference to separate you sometimes in tournaments over on FanDuel. And I like to attack that. So don't be afraid to roster a catcher, and don't be afraid to roster 2 catchers if you can find some good ones.
Okay. Very good. D-Rock, let's look at catcher then. Let's just go up and down. So throw it out there at me. Would you go to it? You know, we like our Pirates catchers, Mr. D-Rock. We like them a lot, but I don't know if I can go there tonight. What are we doing here?
Yeah, I can't go there tonight.
Michael Perez
with the Pirates catchers up top. You know, I don't mind Gary Sanchez at 4.8 against Rodon. You know, you get the righty lefty matchup. I don't think many people are going to pay up tonight for catching. But I mean, other than that, up top, Mitch Garver is an okay option against McKenzie. But I'm more in the middle of the field here today. I like Dom Nunez. If you want to go with the Rockies bats, he'll hit towards the bottom of the lineup. You know, you get the Coors catcher there, and 4.3 is a little bit pricey when you're going to get guys in Arizona for cheaper than that in the catcher spot that I think would be more popular. Another one, Tucker Barnhart, 4.1K. I think a lot of people will leave him out tonight just because of the game, the Toronto game, and then also with Coors Field. And one of my favorites on the night, though, and I don't know if Matt Goen read my article or not before he started talking about him, but my value play of the day in my article actually is Mike Zunino at 3.8K. I absolutely love him tonight. I think he's hit 4 home runs in his last 6 games. And he gets the matchup with K tonight. And that park, like we said, that park is like turning into a mini Coors Field. So I think he's going to get left on the bench and get 0 ownership on him. I absolutely love him. He might even be my only play at catcher tonight. And another one down low I like is Omar Narvaez for the Brewers. If he's in the lineup tonight, he usually hits 4th or 5th in the lineup against Jeff Hoffman in Great American Ballpark. That's another ballpark that I love going to for bats. And then I like the Wilson Ramos call, but I'll give you one in the same game opposite of Wilson Ramos. Since Detroit likes to roster 9 catchers in their lineup, I'll go with I'm gonna say his name wrong, but I don't give a shit. Eric Haas, 3.1K, hitting 5th tonight against Mike Minor. I don't mind him as a punt. Other than that, though, I wouldn't. There's nothing really else I like. I'm gonna have a ton of Mike Zunino tonight.
You did it well. I mean, that's exactly how you say his name.
Well, perfect. I'm getting a little bit better.
I mean, yes,
I'm used to DC
right?
on here.
Absolutely.
I'm used to DC on here calling me out.
I'll give you one more guy. I was disrespectful and did not mention his name and should. Yermin Mercedes, right? He's the man. So don't ignore him at the 4.6K tag. I forgot they keep moving his position from first and catcher back and forth, but I'll definitely be looking at him. And I thought D-Rock made a great point. I don't think people will spend up as much at catcher today if they get the opportunity to spend down, just because of how it's going to hurt your roster construction. Spending up isn't going to be difficult, or is going to be difficult because if you like the top end arms, you want to jam one of them in, you got to kind of take a price hit somewhere. And I think a good spot that a lot of people do that at typically is catcher. So, but I think Mercedes is probably my top catcher on the entire slate.
It only took you a half hour to talk about the White Sox. I'm impressed.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I paid an under ticket before I got on here for when I was going to mention the White Sox. So now I'm going to get paid for that ticket, and I'm going to get paid when the White Sox go off tonight.
So I just got a little news here. We don't have the Red Sox lineup out, but Danny Santana is back, and he's leading off for the Red Sox against Aaron Nola. I'm not on Nola either. I know you guys were a little wishy-washy. I don't know if first base is the place you want to save money tonight, but you're getting 2.1K, a guy that last year, just throw it out the window. He played very few games. It was a disaster. He's got speed, got a little bit of pop, hitting first for the Red Sox tonight. Again, if this is tournaments only, right? 2.1K for Danny Santana to open up some salary elsewhere when I got a leadoff hitter. Let's just discuss this, Mangone, because let's get to your pool of first basemen. And then could you at least consider going at 2-1 at first base?
Yeah, my problem with it is I think there's a bunch of already cheap first basemen that people are going to be plugging and playing into their lineups, right? They're going to save money with a CJ Cron, a Pavin Smith in Coors Field, right? Like those guys, you get the 4-hitter in Coors Field at 3.3K. Yeah, I mean, you're going to be jumping on that, right? He's no Connor Joe Holden, but hey, 3.3K, you got to like CJ Cron there. I think a lot of people are doing that. And I think spending up at first base for someone like a Jose Abreu against the lefty, right? Like sign me up for that instead in tournaments. I see myself not trying to really go to these Coors bats. In cash games, yes, I think you want to mix and match these guys. I think they're perfectly fine options. I'm probably playing more tournaments today. I see myself, I think, trying to spend up at first base a little bit because, again, I don't think people are going to try and do that. I had a nice little day yesterday because I went on Garrett Cooper, right? But I thought that people wouldn't spend down at first that much. So I played some Garrett Cooper. It worked out, and I'm going to go the other way again. I'm going to go up at first base. I'm going to go all the way up to Jose Abreu, I think is my favorite first baseman on this slate. And I don't really want to mess around with these guys as one-offs, right? Don't make CJ Cron and Pavin Smith like one-offs on this slate. If you want to include them in your cash games and in your core stack, that's perfectly fine. But I don't think that's the best idea because I think a lot of people are going to be mixing and matching these guys throughout their lineups. And in tournaments, I don't think that's going to get you to the top.
Okay. D-Rock, what are we doing at first base today, buddy?
So I'm on the same page with you in the fact that I'm not looking to roster the Coors bats tonight. That's a stand I'm going to take. I mean, it's a risky one all the time, but you got to make a stand somewhere. And it's a 15-game slate, so I really don't think they're going to be like majorly owned like they would be on an 8-game slate. So, I'll look away from like the CJ Crones. One as a pivot, I like away from CJ Cron because I think he's going to be popular definitely at 3.8 is Josh Bell for the Nationals. He's actually $200 cheaper. I like him against Lopez tonight. Up top, nobody's going to pay 5.7 for Vlad Jr. tonight against Glasnow. And Vlad is just absolutely raking against righties on the season. I think he's almost got 400 ISO in his last 4 weeks against right-handed pitching. So I do like that matchup. The park suits well for him. And then, like we were talking earlier, Glasnow gives up a couple watts. Vlad comes up. See you later. And then my favorite part, though, is from that same game as on the Tampa Bay side. 4.6K, Austin Meadows. You get the lefty-lefty matchup. And the best thing about him is you get first base and outfield with him. If you want to go up even farther, I don't mind going all the way up to 5.8K for Ohtani tonight against Oakland. Freddie Freeman starting to warm up at 5.5K. I think the top tier guys like a Freeman and Ohtani, I think those guys are all going to get left out of the mix tonight because with the Coors pricing being basically in the 3Ks, is that top tier range is going to be empty. So I think you get so much ownership leverage up there that it's worth it, and you don't need to go down to like a Santana at 2.1 or somebody like that. I already seen somebody in chat mention the Cubs, and I'm not on the Cubs tonight against Martinez. I respect him enough. Oh man, who you got? I like the Brewers. Vogelbach at 3.1 in Great American tonight. You get the lefty righty matchup against Huffman. He's a really good play at that price point. Otherwise, there's not much else down there that I'm really wanting to go to.
Yeah, another reason it might get ignored too a bit is you mentioned Josh Bell. Great call there, D-Rock, on him. He's another guy. He's going to get some ownership, but definitely a great first base play, and he's been too cheap. You're going to see people, if they have money to work with their lineup and they do upgrade a spot, and they upgrade first base, like Rhys Hoskins against a lefty, right? At 4.5, that feels too cheap. And I know people aren't going to be out here, stacking the Phillies up all the way maybe against Perez, but he's a good one-off option that makes sense. And you could see people just saying, hey, that price tag's too cheap and just using their extra salary that way. So I really do think the 5K and above first baseman really get overlooked today.
Yeah, I completely
Anything
agree.
else at first base, guys? You want to discuss, or I do have a question for D-Rock. How do you say the catcher's name for the Rays? I can't remember his name right now.
Did I mess it up first?
No, how do you say it? I don't remember his name. Who is it?
Zunino? Am I close?
You're close. I mean, it
Zunino?
starts with a Z. Zunino, yeah.
All right, there we go. Zunino.
Yeah. I think it's kind of a fun bit. I'm not correcting you, trying to teach you the way to pronounce it. Really, I just enjoy it.
It's a good thing though. This is a
Zunino.
baseball show, and there isn't a ton of names that are super hard. Because I am the worst when it comes to pronunciation.
Yeah.
I would absolutely probably die if I was on the hockey show. There is no way I could be on the hockey show with all those names on there.
Mangone, second base. Oh, before I tell everybody where we're going next, 410 watching, 138 likes. Let's get these up. If you want to see if you want to get D-Rock's nips and tats, we need 300. And Mangone is offering to take off his clothes at 400. Personally, if we can figure out how to get to like 298 and stop there, that would be perfect. 298 and just stop. We don't got to see any of this stuff. That's it. RPS Heater 25 is the code to sign up. Again, I mean, if Izzy's in here, you don't even know how long it took to get Izzy in here. Izzy is now a subscriber. If Izzy could do it, you could do it. I mean, that was like the hard sell, and I don't even understand why, but finally he's in here. Great to see. You'll love to see it. Second base, Travis Mangone. It's again, we got a lot of high price guys that are completely viable. So the question is, how do we go a little bit lower? I think Jazz Chisholm is always in play now. This is my boy. I'm sticking with him. I think Jazz at 4K. I think if you want to save money, Luis Arraez is way down there. I know that that D-Rock's going to get on Domingo Leyba, or as we call him, Labia. I don't find that to be a great play, but nonetheless, Mangone, give us the pool at second.
Yeah, the pool at second, second's a little rough today. I mean, I think people are going to be plugging and playing Domingo Labia. I believe you say it, Leyba. Yeah. He is going to be in the lineup, I believe. And hey, 2.8K Coors bat, like people, they love to see that, right, Holden? I mean, you saw Connor Joe, Title saw Connor Joe, you know, the pants were coming off of that. You guys loved him. They're going to love seeing some Domingo there. Again, 2.8K, switch hitter too, right? You'll probably get him for the whole game. So I do expect people to be going there. I think if they have the money, they might even go to Eduardo Escobar, right? He's been crushing it. So I understand them trying to get him in their lineups. It makes sense. If you look at the game logs, right? People love looking at the game logs. He's been phenomenal. So I do think Eduardo Escobar, if you have the money, sure, you can spend up on him, but I just don't see myself going there that much today. I don't see myself plugging and playing the Coors. I'm doing my best, at least in tournaments, right, to stay away. Cash games, you have to be playing these guys, right? I mean, they're in too good of a spot. You can't ignore them. But of course, this is baseball. Another stack can go for more, or the stack can bust. It's a very volatile sport. When it comes to second, though, again, it's a tough slate, right? Salary-wise, we're struggling at pitcher because they priced up some of these guys, so you just can't jam in every single bat. So I could see myself looking for one of those cheap second basemen that is not, one of these Coors bats to get my lineups. I think you brought up a good points with Luis Arraez. The problem is I just don't know what to kind of do with him. He's not like this power hitter, right? He's going to get some ownership as well. I'd probably just try to find some lower owned guy that's like cheaper maybe to throw throughout my lineups. Like maybe a Mike Brosseau is in the lineup, right? In that game, batting towards the bottom at 3.2K. He has some power against the lefty. If he's in that lineup, maybe I'll consider him. But I'm really looking to maybe find some salary relief here at this position. I like the call you made on Jazz. He's definitely a guy, if I have the 4K, I don't mind going there. But I'm trying my best to find a cheap punt option based on lineups once we get them out. That's kind of where I'm at.
Who is that guy is the question. We got G Risen in the chat there saying he's going with Caesar tonight. So I guess that would be because you're targeting Dale Doback, a.k.a. Randy Dobnak, for 2 or 3. If he gets to 3 innings, that means he's pitching well. So you're hoping to get him out of there within 2 innings. But who's at second base here? D-Rock, give me the pool.
I only really have 3 guys at second base in my pool tonight, just because, second base has always been pretty much a pay down option for me. But one guy up top I do like if you want to spend the salary is Ozzie Albies against the lefty. I always love Ozzie against lefties, not so much against righties. So, and he's going to get no ownership again because nobody's going to want to pay 5.4K at second base. And then another option, if you want to go there, 4.5K, Colton Wong for the Brewers leading off against Jeff Hoffman. Again, I'm going to be mentioning these Milwaukee bats pretty much the whole show just because I think they're a good way to go to get away from the Coors bats in Toronto and stuff. But my favorite option is only 4K, and that's Jazz. I absolutely love Jazz tonight. He gets Stroman, which ain't the greatest matchup. But I'm a believer in this kid. Yeah. I think he can rake. You got stolen base upside if he does get on. So for me, it's almost Jazz or nothing. But if you want to pay up, I like Ozzie. And if you want a little bit lower ownership, you can go Colton Wong a little bit up. But I don't think Jazz is going to get any ownership tonight on the slate. So I love him.
McLongrod, 2 days in a row, Holden, you came up with Step Brothers. Dude, if I come up with a Step Brothers line every single day, it's just too quotable, man. Between that and Dumb and Dumber, you really don't need another movie to quote. Step Brothers is definitely boats and hose. I mean, I should have, instead of the edibles play that, I should have just had the boats and hose play of the day.
There you go.
Matter of fact, that's not a bad idea. We might get rid of the edibles plays of the day and go boats and hose. But I'm on a little roll with the edibles, so let me write that down, see if I can remember. Boats and hose play of the day. What do you think, Mangone? You like that?
Hey, anything that's Step Brothers related, I'm in on. So
okay, good. I wasn't sure which way you'd go there.
If we can get you on a boat, right, in the picture too, I'm on a boat. I don't know who you have to be next to though on the boat. Maybe you're next to G Ryzen with a Modelo in his hand. You got some edibles in your hand. I mean, there's a lot going on here. I think we can.
There is. I don't know who to put next to me on the boat. It's a hell of a good question. All right. But it really doesn't matter now because we got to move on to the next part. Where are we? We're at 418 watching, 160 likes. 140 more for D-Rock's shirt to come off. So like I said, you're doing good. You're not going to get us to 300, and I like that. 200 would be nice. And then 400, Mangone takes his shirt off, and he only said that because he knows we're not getting it, and I have no problem not seeing that. D-Rock. So we go to third base now. Boy, I know he's going to be the super-duper chalk here, but Ryan McMahon he's really turned into a stud. I know he had a tough series in San Diego, but before that, he's kind of been the next man up. They've needed some bats. Story has been struggling a bit. Blackman has not been the same guy. Obviously, no Arenado. I think McMahon is the guy that I will target tonight at third. There's going to have to be some other guys, but at 4.9 on DraftKings, completely affordable. 3.9 on FanDuel? Come on, man. Ryan McMahon, give me some.
So on DraftKings, yeah, I agree. McMahon he's a really good play. He's also going to be, like you said, the chalkiest option at third base tonight. I like two options that are within like a $300 radius of them, though, that I think are better plays than McMahon tonight, honestly. And that's if you want to go up $300 to 5.2, Rafael Devers against Nola. Well, you get the lefty-righty matchup. I love that spot in Philly. And then even down below that, Matt Chapman. 4.6K. I know we haven't really mentioned any athletics yet on the show, but I think that's too cheap for Chapman in this matchup against Quintana. I know Quintana can give up the long ball. I really love that matchup. He's going to get no ownership. If you want to go down a little bit lower, you could take a stab at Travis Shaw at 3.9K, but at that point, I'd still rather just go up and pay the 4.6 for Chapman. But then 4.1K, and this play will probably come up a little bit later again. Kyle Seager. I know people are going to have the Paddock love and all that stuff, but I love Kyle Seager tonight at 4.1K. I'll get to him a little bit later in the show. Other than that, I mean, Suarez at 5.1K, but again, I'd rather just spend another $100 and get Rafael Devers in that matchup that nobody's going to take against Aaron Nola.
I'm just going to give you a hint as to my for the time now being the edibles play of the day. My guy is not going to be McMahon, though. He's going to be at the shortstop position, though, and he'll be leading off against the guy who just seems to always put runners on base. So we'll get to that in a little bit. Maybe you mentioned it, Mangone, but who's your pool here at the position?
Yeah, I mean, I'll say this, third base is kind of rough tonight, right? It's not like a day that I'm in love with, right? Like, it's like, sure, McMahon at the top, right? But if I told you, hey, like, there's no McMahon on the slate, like, what would you be jumping the roster really at third base? So,
I got one.
Oh, what do we got?
John Villar, man. Little Jonathan Villar. He's 3.5. He's going up against this jabroni John Curtis, who comes out. He's an opener, giving up multiple base runners in every single inning out there in the first inning. He's garbage. And Villar, man, I don't care what side of the plate he's on. Every night, you know, he's out there. He's got home runs in back-to-back games. I could see a couple doubles tonight. He's not stealing bases, which is a little disappointing, but no one wants anybody to steal bases these days. But he can swipe a bag if he needs to. He's 2.7 on FanDuel, 3.5 on DraftKings. I mean, I'll come back to him at the edibles play of the day, but that's my guy right there. Like, leading off against this jabroni, give me some. And I don't know how much you guys look at game logs. I don't look at it too much, but 1, 2, 3, 5 out of his last 6, 5 out of his last 7, Villar, man, the guy's getting on base. He's hitting. He's got a nice matchup. That's my guy at third. But who's your guys at third, Mangone?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't mind that call. I do think I'm trying to like live more down in like this like mid-tier range at third base. right now. I just don't think I need to spend up for those guys. I just don't see them as priority spends. And I know you just made fun of the game log looking up Holden, but at the end of the day, like that is what like comes up with like your team. Like at the end of the day, like those points are what create the score. So like they do matter. I'm kind of in like Big T's camp. Like again, that's another reason why I kind of didn't play Jesus Aguilar yesterday. I looked at the game log and I was like, the dude just has not been hitting the ball well. And I went to Cooper instead. He had been kind of seeing it well. I don't mind that. I like D-Rock's point with Kyle Seager at the 4.1K tag. Again, I'm trying not to spend all the way up, I think, at third today. And when you look at Seager, right, he's going against Paddock. And if you tell me people are rostering Paddock today, well, what happens when a home run's hit against Paddock? Those guys are going down and I'm going up, right? And he's probably not going to get rostered. So there's some leverage opportunity there with a guy like Kyle Seager. So kind of interested in him. I think Alec Baum is a pretty good option. Again, I don't want to attack Martin Perez all the way. I don't want to just go a 5-man Red Sox or Philly stack, but to pick and choose bats against him, I really don't mind it. I think it's not a bad strategy to go with on this slate. So looking at Baum as an interesting option, which again, I think that VR, not the worst idea. Again, I think I want to live in this mid-tier, Holden. This mid-tier is, I think, where I really want to be. I don't see myself saying, hey, Bregman against Gibson, let me go for him. Jose Ramirez against Dobnik. I know he's been hitting it well. I just don't see all these matchups at the top that I'm in love with. I really think this is a good spot to live in this mid-tier, at least in tournaments, and maybe fill it out throughout your stack, right? I don't mind Moncada today. Like, I'll probably have some White Sox, but I think he's a good guy maybe to leave off the stack today against a lefty. That's kind of what I'm looking at there. I think this mid-tier of the 3K range, there's a good bit of value that you can take advantage of, like an Austin Riley at 3.9 against Anderson. Nice little platoon matchup, and Riley's been hitting the ball well. That's the range I really want to live in today.
Oh boy, the chat's freaking out. The chat has officially freaked out, and I don't blame them.
Why is that?
Catching today for the Rays, Francisco Mejia.
Oh, that's just stupid.
DHing for the Rays, Austin Meadows. That means there is no who D-Rock, who's not in the lineup for the Rays.
No damn Zunino. That is stupid.
That's very hurtful.
That is.
It is. Now I gotta change the article now.
We get
You do, don't you? That does suck.
We get the Heat at 2.7 though. He's a good value play. Like I will say that. Like it does help provide us some value at the catcher position at 2.7. Again, I mentioned at the top of the show, there wasn't a catcher that was sticking out to me that I was in love with. Mejia is interesting. Where's he batting the lineup, Holden?
7.
Yeah,
but he was batting third the other day, so that's why I was wondering. Okay, cool.
He ain't batting third today.
Yeah, I figured, but 2.7, I don't mind it. Definitely one of the punt options I'm considering. We'll probably enter the cash chart.
So apparently I mispronounced Jonathan VR's name by calling him Villar. That is, this is English. Okay. I spoke English there. My bad. It is VR. And if you really want me to get crazy, I'll do some tongue rolls and, then the chat's really going to go apeshit.
Real quick, Holden, I have someone in the chat. He says, what's wrong with Jose Ramirez against Dubnyk and the terrible Twins bullpen? Well, I don't have an issue with Jose Ramirez. My issue is the third base position. I feel like if I spend all the way to the top, right, I feel like I'm wasting my salary than at other positions. If you told me third base was loaded with Bregman against a lefty, Story against a lefty, Incore's in a perfect spot. You have Donaldson against lefty. If you told me all the guys at the top, there were so many good spots where there was basically not someone that was going to miss, and I needed to probably spend up and get one of those big home run bats, I'd be fine. But I think overall, it's just a weak position at the top. And I think using my salary there is not correct. I think I want to use my salary in other spots throughout the slate. That's the reason why I'm not going there. If you want to spend up for Jose Ramirez today, go ahead. I'm not going to tell you it's a bad idea. I just think you could use your salary in other spots on this slate, especially with it being a little bit tighter at the pitching position.
Yeah, I just want to spend up for Tatis tonight. It's as simple as that. There's one guy I'm paying up for. It's Tatis. I mean, a guy literally did nothing for a week and a half, comes back 4 for 4 and a home run. Like, how do you fade him tonight? How do you? Well, I guess there's a million ways to fade him because there's other guys at the shortstop position we're going to talk about now. Obviously, Trey Turner, and you got Bichette, and you got Story back at Coors tonight, and you could always go Jazz Chisholm over there. I'd rather play him at second, but Mangone, I mean, this is my top spend up. I just love Tatis, man. It's like him or Ohtani. What night is it? I guess it'll be an Ohtani night. I guess it'll be a Tatis night. Give me Tatis versus Flexen at 5.8. That to me is my pay up tonight. Tell me where I'm wrong.
You're not wrong to spend up at shortstop, right? We just kind of talked about it. Like, where's a spot that you want to spend up? Shortstop. I mean, Trey Turner against Lopez. I'm down, right? I'm definitely down to play him. You can't tell me it's a bad play. Tatis against Flexen. I have some interest. Definitely not going to ignore that. If you are in the camp of, hey, like, I want to take guys in this Toronto game, Glasnow might have a problem. Yeah, we talked about the game logs. Open up Bo Bichette's game log, right? I mean, 23-14, 0, 14-5, 10, 18-7, 3, 21-11, 7, 19. Those are some big boy scores. And Glasnow, he has a walk problem at times, right? So if he walks on some runners, Bichette's a guy that can get a hold of it. Don't hate him. I like Timmy Anderson against the lefty. Always like him when we get him against the lefty there in that spot. Trevor Story, you can't argue against him in Coors, one of the better bats. So he's a strong option. Wouldn't want to really play him as much as a one-off standalone. I want to play him within the stack. He's not someone that I would be leaving off. So a lot of good spend-ups at shortstop, and Story's probably the spend-up cash game shortstop guy at 5'2". So again, I think that this is the position that you're spending on. You could look at some other cheaper shortstops, like your boy Jazz is a shortstop, but I'd rather just slide him into second base because it's a bit of a tougher position. But I don't know. I don't see myself spending down at shortstop today. I see myself spending up.
Yeah, that Turner call is pretty damn good too. I'm hoping most people go to Turner over Tatis. By the way, now there's a ton of news popping on this show. Now Pete Alonso is on the IL for 10 days, bothered his wrist. So that's what's going on there. D-Rock, what is the plan of attack? And get into the names in a second. What's your plan of attack at shortstop? Is it just lineup specific depending, or is there one plan at the position today?
Yeah, for me, there's probably going to be no like middle ground. I'm either going to be paying way down because there is two bats that don't mind that are very cheap on the slate today. And then if I do pay up, though, it is going to be Tatis. I'm not going to go to Story and Coors. When I can pay $600 more and get Tatis over him for more than half the ownership, I absolutely love that play. I can't go. I like Trey Turner call, but I don't think Tatis is going to get enough ownership to where that's going to make me want to pay $200 more to get Turner. And then I like Suarez for the Reds at 5.1K. You know, nobody's going to play him in that spot. And then, but down low, you know, I really do like actually Chad Pinder of Oakland. I think he's in a sneaky spot tonight. He's only 2.6K. Your boy Freddie Galvis, well, Big T's boy, he's only 3.1K. If Strasburg is not 100%, you know, Strasburg could give up some dons here, and I like Galvis in that spot at that price tag. And then I'm actually shocked that Mangone did not say it.
Danny Mendick.
Exactly. I cannot believe he did not say it.
Well, there's a reason, D-Rock, because you're not leaving Anderson off the stack. You're putting Mendick in the outfield, man. You put him in the outfield. You don't put him at shortstop. You do not leave Tim Anderson off of the White Sox lefty masher stack. You never do that. So that is why it was not mentioned, D-Rock.
Got some news here, guys, real quick. The roof at Globe Life in Texas is going to be closed.
Perfect.
That's what you wanted to hear.
Perfect. Get you some Kyle Gibson tonight at 7.1K.
Okay. Roof is going to be closed. And if you ever need the information, go follow John Blake at Ranger Blake. He's their wonderful public relations, media relations director. I absolutely love this guy.
I'm on a first name basis with John. He sends me a text every day, Holden. He's the tweet notification to my phone and tells me the roof is open or it's not. He tells me if they're wearing the powder blue Texas uniforms. John's a good man. He does not
do that. I know that for a fact.
Every day I get a notification to my phone, Holden. It says,
so you follow Ranger Blake now. That's why. That's a good idea. He really is a wonderful individual and probably a saint when it comes down to it. So anyways, that's where we are, boys. We're going to get to the outfield in a second. So we've got 420. Hey, Jared, check your Discord, buddy. 420 watching, 193 likes. Let's try and get to 2.25. Just for the hell of it, just to say, hey, Run Pure, you guys are doing a nice job. D-Rock, you're a wonderful person. Here's a like. Mangone, here's a like, and on and on and on. You know what I'm saying? So we got that going on. RPS Heater 25. For those of you still waiting to sign up, 25% off your first payment. That's all I'm saying. And then, Mangone, let's start with you in the outfield. So many bats. So many bats. So is this like hey, let's pay up for one guy, get a mid-tier and a low guy, let's spend that? How are you putting the puzzle of the outfield together, Mangone?
Yeah, all right, so let's do this first. Let's knock off Coors, right? Like let's just get it out the way and talk about what we're doing with that. So price tags on the Coors Field bats. And again, outfield, it takes a lot of time to talk about because there's so many different guys you can go to. But I'm pulling up Coors now just to mention all the price tags that we got here. You pull up outfield, we got Blackmon, obviously 4.8. You can consider him. You got Tapia. He's in the one hole at 4K. I expect him to be very popular, right? Him and Blackmon are going to be probably two guys that people go to. You can plug Pavin Smith into your outfield spot if you would like to. We still do not have that Arizona lineup, and we could get some really cheap outfield options from Arizona. So be on the lookout for that when kind of filling out your lineups. I do like Avisail Garcia a little bit as a cheap option. D-Rock likes some Brewers. I don't mind going to him. Definitely someone that I would not be ignoring on this slate, but let's start back at the top and mention the guys at the top because that is what matters. Acuna, right? At 6'2", Juan Soto, 6'1". Those are two great options. If you have the salary to spend for it, I think they're great guys to go to. I think Acuna as a one-off could be under-owned today than normal days. But if I am stacking up the Nationals, which they are a good stack today, I don't want to ignore them. I do think I want to make sure Soto is jammed into my lineups there at the top. I know JSU loves himself some Ketel Marte. I do think he's a good option to go to at 5'3". And people don't really know too much about Ketel right now because, again, he hasn't played much this year. So I think he'd get a little overlooked in this spot. Let's see what else we got here. Go a little bit lower. I think in the mid-tier range, like I don't mind going to, again, David Peralta at 4'1". He's going to be a guy that is likely in the lineup you're going to want to get exposure to. If you're looking for a Phillies one-off option that people won't go to, I don't mind Andrew McCutchen, right, at 4'3" against Martin Perez. Has a lot of upside. Don't want to ignore him. If you're playing these San Diego bats, Holden, you talked about Tatis. I don't mind Trent Grisham at 4-0, right? I think against Flexen and a bad Seattle bullpen, which we don't talk about enough. When I try to build out my teams, and one reason that's giving me some pause on playing the White Sox a bit today is I like to make sure there's a bad bullpen behind him, right? If you think Strasburg is trash today, a bad bullpen behind him with the Nationals, that's phenomenal to have. So I really do think that, you have to look at that when you're kind of handicapping your DFS teams and kind of building out your lineup. So Trent Grisham at 4-0 with that Seattle bullpen too. Don't mind that at all. I think that's kind of it there. Again, look for the cheap options that you can find. We talked about Dobnik, right? He's not a good pitcher. Eddie Rosario, I'd rather play him as my guy going up against a terrible Minnesota bullpen and a terrible pitcher against Dobnik. 3.3K. Instead of going Jose Ramirez, I'll just go Eddie Rosario, who has like 3 home run upside. I mean, the guy's a very boom bust player. So give me Eddie Rosario at 3.3 as one of the cheaper option I'd be looking at there.
Okay. D-Rock. The outfield tonight, we'll have the Coors guys. Okay. You don't even need to get into the Coors guys. Don't even worry about that stuff. Pavin Smith, 90% on, that's fine. Whatever. Do what you need to do. First of all, who's the guys down low that you wouldn't mind paying for? Like, who can we save salary on tonight? That's my question.
Well, now that Tampa Bay was dumb and I got to redo my article when I get off the show, my new favorite value play, and this is the free show, right?
Yes.
All right. Well, you're all getting my favorite value play in my article. I'm going to be changing to Avisail Garcia at 3.3K. I like going there. I'm all over Milwaukee today. I am like terribly sorry to my Cubs family, but I'm sure like they all hate me right now, but I don't care. I like money. I like the Eddie Rosario call. I probably am not going to be stacking up against Dobnik. So what I would rather do if I'm going to like maybe do a one-off against him, I actually like Franmil Reyes. I mean, he's not that expensive, but he's like 4-1 or 4-3 or something around there. Let's see. Alex Kirilloff, he's back for the Twins. He's hitting in the 3-hole tonight. He's 3.4K. I love that play.
Hey, let me ask you about a guy. Andrew Vaughn. Mashes lefties, gets Montgomery tonight. Montgomery's a good pitcher. We haven't really dug into the White Sox that much, but what is he on DK? I think he's like 2-2 on DK.
Yeah, he's their cheap at Mendick. They're both down there, 2-2 and like 2-5. And like,
I mean, what are we doing here? Like, Mangone, you're a White Sox truther too. Like, we can hop on these guys, right? At least one off them.
So like one thing I will say, like, again, like I don't know if I'm going to go the full 5-man today, but like like Madrigal at second is like easy to plug in there, right? That's the guy I'm going to maybe leave off and go like a Mendick in the outfield if I'm doing a 5-man stack, right? Because it's like that wraparound stack, which I like. But Vaughn is a guy I would not be leaving off. He provides me value, and like I don't even mind him in cash games, right? If you want to just have like a random one-off guy, I don't hate it. If it's small exposure to that offense for a cheap, I don't hate it at all. Definitely. Again, at 2.2K, he doesn't have to do much. He could be a guy that punts for you and gets you like a big bat like you wanted in Fernando Tatis, and Tatis could just win you the slate, right? I mean, that's again.
All right.
That's
sorry about
that.
that,
I kind of like to build
D-Rock.
out my lineups if I see cheap.
Well, and the thing is Vaughn has like the home run upside too. Like the kid's got power. But you know, I don't know if I'm gonna need to go that low. If I do need to go that low, I definitely will get him in there. Another one I really like at 3.3K down low is Jarred Kelenic. Absolutely love him for Seattle tonight. I'm sure he'll be leading off. Kyle Lewis down there at 3.1K. You know, I like the Mariners tonight. I'm not so impacted, so I'm gonna be getting there. Chad Pinder, I mentioned him earlier. You can also roster him in the outfield. And then up top, I honestly don't see myself spending all the way up tonight in the outfield. I like these mid-tier value bats, and one of my favorites though is Christian Yelich. She's only 4.8K tonight. Again, Great American Ballpark. I keep going there, but you know, Yelich I don't think should be under 5K. I think he is definitely mispriced. Home run upside tonight easily, so I'll be paying for him in the 4K. I won't even pay for anybody above 4.8K tonight. I will have mostly Christian Yelich tonight.
So Brandon McNair in the chat. No Wander Franco. It's Taylor Walls. Walls actually been crushing at AAA this year. So, I mean, I can't imagine. So somebody said Wander was 2K on DraftKings.
All right, so now they're saying Garcia is not in the lineup.
And Avi's not in the lineup either?
That's annoying.
I haven't gotten that yet. I haven't gotten the lineup yet, but that's what they're saying in chat.
I'm looking for. I don't see it.
I don't see it either.
That's interesting that people won't play. Like
that's surprising.
Yeah,
why would you not put him in there tonight? Okay, whatever. I'm sure they have their reasoning, but
all right. Well, now Kelenic is going to be
now Kelenic's the guy, right?
Yeah, he's the guy now. Shit, he might not even be in the lineup tonight. The way
what do you guys think of Kyle Schwarber at 4.4? I think he's like a pretty good option that people won't want to go to because it feels overpriced, but he's been mashing it, and Lopez is a great spot for him.
I was trying to do a little more. This is when it starts warming up out in the mid-Atlantic, and it starts getting like humid and hot. And I wonder if we're at that point yet, because that's when you just start seeing the balls in Camden, down at Nationals Park. All of them just go bananas. Let me go just look up real quick, see what the weather is going to be tonight, because you got to like all the bats, even against Strasburg. Let's see, 80 degrees and 30% humidity. I mean, it's getting warm, man. It's warming up there. I don't know if we're there yet, but it's starting to get warm. So Mangone, I mean, that's at least you got something in your favor. If you're questioning one of the players from the Orioles-Nats game, is that the surroundings are starting to be the places where we like to see hitting, right? We're seeing it in Philly. We'll see it in Washington. Philly's going to be a little bit warmer and humid tonight. It should be nice and humid in New York too with the Yankees. So I think we're right around the corner from offenses just completely going bananas.
Corey Pooler in chat's not happy with me right now.
Why?
Recommending guys that aren't playing.
I mean,
we don't have the lineup when I get on the show, so I had no clue. And I fully expected Garcia to be in that lineup. He's mad about the Yoshida play last night for the Dodgers, but hey,
yeah,
everybody out there had him coming in after David Price, and we got Dave Roberts. That's what happened.
You know, Izzy's one of my favorites here. Izzy and I used to have a little headbutton thing, but then we talked it out in chat. Now he's a subscriber, and he brought up a great point. Because look at that Mets lineup. What a bunch of garbage. All right. Yeah. You know, I like Jonathan VR. So Villar. I'm going to call him Villar. I don't care. Villar, Lindor, Cameron Maybin, Dom Smith, Thomas Nido, Peraza, Drury, Joneshwi, Fargas back in the lineup. The problem is you can't attack him with John Curtis. But yes, it's a bad Mets lineup tonight. There's some head scratching things going on that we're seeing in these lineups here today.
Just bet the under.
Just bet the under in that game.
What is it?
Stroman?
Is it like 8?
No way. There's no way in hell that's 8. That's got to be 7. If it's 7.5, fine. But there's no way that there's. If they put it at 8, then I will bet the under right now.
If it's 7.5, I'll take that too.
Okay, yeah, it's not bad. Stacks. Let's talk about stacking, guys. Mangone, White Sox tonight or no? I just have not gotten a firm stance from you on the White Sox.
Yeah, my connection's cutting in and out. I don't know if you can
Okay, White Sox. All right. We'll get back to him in a little bit. Mangone, we'll see you soon, buddy. Anything horrible?
I think I'm good now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. We got you.
All right, my connection's being a little weird. But I like I like them. It's just like I don't know if I can full stack it, right? I don't know if I'm going to go all the way. I might just go like a 3-man stack of it. I really like the national stack. I think that's one of the better stacks to go to today against the Orioles. So White Sox are definitely in my group, right? I like them against the Orioles. I'll definitely be going there. I'd say, it's a tough day for offense. The Rays are definitely in the conversation as well as another team that I think I'm going to be considering stacking up. So I'd say those are the 3, and it's definitely not a day that I need to stack, right? Like I can definitely do like maybe mini stacks throughout today and then just kind of move on. I don't think I have to do like the 5-3 or 5-2-1 stack today.
Okay. So who's your stack?
I said it. Nationals, I'd say.
Nationals.
White Sox, and then I'd say the Rays. I think those are like the 3 I'm kind of keying in on right now.
Okay. All right, Mr. D-Rock. Who's the stack of the night, dude?
So I'm starting to lean I still like Milwaukee, but I'm starting to lean a little bit away from there. My favorite stack, it's the same game, and it's the Cincinnati Reds. I just think with the price tags on these guys, nobody's gonna want to pay him like Nick Styles 6K, Winker's 5.5, Suarez is 5.1. Nobody's gonna want to pay up for that. And Tyler Naquin 4.3. We didn't even mention him today. Lefty against the righty tonight. I could easily see Naquin going deep tonight. So I'm going to go with the Cincinnati Reds, and I'll even get way different on a 15-game slate and game stack this game. I think this game's in for like some major runs to be scored tonight.
A full-out game stack.
A full-out game stack. I bet you see at least 12 plus runs scored in this game tonight. I'll even go higher than that. I'll say 14 plus tonight in this game.
What?
Yes. Fully agree with it.
All right, give me 3 guys that 3 guys you have to roster from that game then, from that stack.
Jesse Winker, Tyler Naquin, and Suarez.
I love Naquin too. Winker, Naquin, Suarez. Woo-hoo-hoo. Okay.
Suarez gets that righty-righty matchup. Nobody's even going to want to play him tonight.
Milwaukee going to be a chalk stack tonight, guys?
I don't think so. I don't. No, other than with 15 games on the slate, I wouldn't even worry about ownership. Even Coors, I'd be surprised if the Coors bats got above 20% tonight.
Yeah, I'll go a little Yelich, Narvaez. I don't have a full game stack tonight, guys. This is
get Vogelbach in there too.
Yeah, I like 2 or 3 guys from just different games. I can look at Milwaukee. I can try and sprinkle a guy or 2 in from out here at Coors. There's not one team that really stands out to me that I want to stack tonight. So might be a little mini stack for me. You can get different, and you can find guys just so many different places. I wonder how many people are going to be on Cleveland, Mangone. So they're going up against Dale Doback, but he's only pitching a couple of innings. So Cleveland is another spot I'll probably look at and maybe try and mix and match, like a Eddie Rosario or a Framel, or even, Josh Naylor's even going up against a right-hander. I don't hate Naylor either. So if you guys are Cleveland, what do you think of Cleveland tonight?
Yeah, you can throw in an Eddie Rosario, a Jose Ramirez, Cesar Hernandez, and even throw in a Rene Rivera if he's at the bottom of the lineup, right? Just a catcher that's a full-on punt. You're not in love with him, but you don't know what terrible pitcher is going to come in there that you can get a chance to, bang one out against, right? So he's really dirt cheap and helps fill out your lineup. I don't hate that. So I wouldn't ignore these guys. Like a Josh Naylor, not a problem either. The India stack is definitely one that I think if I'm filling out some mini stacks, I might not go all the way with those guys, but I do think it's in play. The only thing I worry about with these lefties sometimes too is with the lefties in that ballpark, it's a little bit harder to hit them out. The righties get a bit of a favor in Minnesota. Actually, wait, that game's in Cleveland, so it really doesn't matter. Actually, the more I look at it, just load up on some Indians and some mini stacks. I think they're really good options. And some of them have some cheap price tags. So go Indians. I like that one as one to slide in there as well.
All right, boys, let's do it. Our plays of the day. We will start with the D-Rock. Nips, slips, tats, and rats. What is it again?
Nips and tats. Play of the day.
Tats.
But did we get 300 likes?
No, thank God. No.
Gotta get the lights up there.
Keep your shirt on.
Gotta get the lights up there if you want.
They need to get 79 in the next 2 minutes, and thank God they're not going to get to 300. I do not want you taking your shirt off, so please don't get us to 300 or even close. I don't even want to sweat this out. D-Rock, who's the play?
I'll tell you don't need the Nips and tats tonight to cash in on this play because he's going yard. I'll even say twice. I've already bet him at plus 450 on DK to go deep tonight. He's got over a 52% hard hit rate on the year with a 314 ISO, and he's over 47% of his batted balls have over a 95 mile per hour velocity on them. Mr. Kyle Seager of the Seattle Mariners.
Ooh-wee. All right. The hard hit. He can hit home runs. I guess it doesn't matter with that park either, too, because he's been hitting home runs at that park. Kyle Seager, Nips and Tats play of the day. Mangone, what is your play called? I don't even remember what it is anymore.
I don't know. I took the dry hump because no one else would take it.
The dry hump.
I think it's lame though. I think it's got to be something that comes organically, right? It hasn't came yet. You just let it happen. You don't force it. I mean, I think for anyone, like even APs isn't great. We got to get AP a better one that'll.
What's his?
His like the hair gel play. I think he'll organically get a better one. I think over time. So we'll get that, but. I'm going with Jose Abreu here as my guy. Again, I like spending up at first base today. I think it's a really good idea. A lot of people are spending down for those value bats. And I talk about maybe not stacking the White Sox all the way up, but taking some home runs here or there, doing some mini stacking today. I like that. And if you want a cheap guy, I'll go with Eddie Rosario for Cleveland.
Nice. I like it. Solid picks. Holden telling the chat not to get to 300 is not good mojo. No, you know what's not good mojo? Seeing D-Rock's nipples. Okay, I've seen him. Didn't win big the nights I saw him. That's it. So let's not.
You must not have been betting the home runs then.
Again, you haven't been right every night. And
when the Nips and Tats come out, I think I'm like 3 for 4.
So don't bet Kyle Seager tonight.
Oh no, you're betting Kyle Seager tonight. It's happening. I'm telling you.
Okay.
But see, if all these people in chat, if they're not subscribers, if they want to see the Nips and Tats, just subscribe. The Nips and Tats are out on the premium shows all the time, man. I'm half drunk most of the time.
They are?
Oh,
we haven't done a premium show. That's the thing, though. We'll do
Thursday night golf shows.
You like football, or are you just a baseball, hockey, basketball guy?
No, yeah, I like football.
All right, maybe we'll do some premium on football. But come on, keep your shirt on, dude. This is very unprofessional. Anyways, for me, I already told you it's VR. Jonathan VR hitting at the top of the Mets lineup. No one's going to touch the Mets tonight. It's a horrible lineup. He's got a great little matchup off the top. The Marlins will be throwing some arms in from the bullpen, so that's it. G. Rison just threw his home run play in there. So we got a little Kyle Seager. We got a little Framil Reyes. Okay. That's fine. We'll go Framil. G. Rison's got to be on the tribe tonight. Just so you know, 15 minutes from right now, about 5:30 Eastern time, it's our Premium Up to Lock show. It'll be me, JSU, and Big T. Big T's hanging out. JSU's hanging out. I'm hanging out. We'll take you up to lock in baseball, and then usually maybe we'll go all the way up to lock. Probably will. That'll be a long show, but we'll have fun doing it. We got guys stopping by all the time, whether it be K. Fallick or this guy or that guy or whoever. So Big T, JSU, behind the paywall. I don't know where Draft Cheat is. I don't even know if I worked with him this week. Does anybody know where Draft Cheat is? Is he okay?
He put a picture out on Twitter. He's with
so he's fine.
He's with his woman on her birthday.
Oh, well, good for him. I mean, now we know who
I don't know if it's just like some random girl that he like paid to take a picture with him.
No, he's in San Diego. He's in San Diego for the birthday. It's, I think, a birthday.
Yep.
I'm going to San Diego next week. It's a good thing
you should have went this week.
No, that would not have been fun.
You guys got to hang out still.
We do. I do need to hang out with him. K. Fallick instead of Big T. Man, K. Fallick, why'd you have to say that on this show? Now the people were going to come to see Big T, and now they got you. Whatever, K Fallick. I'll see you in a few minutes then. 15 minutes away. RPS Heater 25% off your first payment. RPS Heater 25. How about the Rays stack?
Yeah.
They want to know about the Rays, guys. Thumbs up or thumbs down on the Rays tonight? Thumbs up from D-Rock.
I like the Rays. I think they're
thumbs up from Mangone. Rays away is all we got to say. Jared, great work behind the scenes. We appreciate it, guys. Thanks for watching. I do need to do edibles with DC, Alex, and that might happen sometime. I don't know. We're both in Denver, but it's like, it's tough to get along. On the bet side, JJ, Joey Work, and Keg live within 10 minutes, and they've never met each other. Never.
Really?
Yeah. It's like none of us get out of our houses. Big T was in town. Neither one of us made an effort to go see each other. Draft Cheat in town. Never made an effort. It's amazing.
I think me and Stevie are like 45 minutes apart, maybe.
Yeah. And you haven't seen him?
No, I haven't seen him. Titles, I think an hour north of me.
I would not go out of my way to see him.
I might be seeing Mikey next week, actually. So
who's Mikey?
Yeah, Mikey? He does some of the NASCAR stuff, NBA stuff. So I might be seeing him. I don't know if you've done any shows with him yet.
No, thanks for chiming in on Mikey though. Good
Mikey's
stuff.
the man. I might be actually hanging out with someone, unlike you guys who are not, leaving the house.
You're right. But you know what?
I got three kids.
Colorado, the bars are open. I don't drink. I'll show up around 11, clean up, go back the next day. That's how we work it here, D-Rock. Let's get out of here. Premium show in 15 minutes. Thanks for hanging out with us. For D-Rock and Mangone and Jared behind the scenes, I'm Holden. Keep running pure.